No wake speed is not the same speed for every boat. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, if we've never met, my name is David Myers. I'm a real estate agent with eXp Realty here in Cape Coral, Florida. I specialize in waterfront property and I have done since 2003. Now this morning I wanted to make a video about minutes to the river because minutes to the river is one of those value drivers for waterfront property. The closer a property is to open water, the more value the land will have, and the farther away from open water or the longer the boat ride, the value will diminish slightly because of that. So before I got into that concept, I wanted to cover this concept, which is that shorter boats make wakes at slower speeds than longer boats do. Now, there are two different types of boat hulls, and those are displacement hulls and planing hulls. Now, an example of a displacement hull is something like a cruise ship or a tanker, a freighter, even sailboats are displacement hull boats. They move water out of the way. They basically just plow through the water, pushing water out of their way as they go. And so their maximum speed is based on the length of the boat. Now with planing hulls, you can, make one go 150 miles an hour because it's riding on top of the water. So there's no correlation between the length of the boat and the ultimate top speed. It's really just a power thing. But when V-hulled planing hull boats are operating off plane, when they're going slow enough that they're not on plane, they behave like a displacement hull boat. So you could actually use the calculations that they use to determine the top speed of a displacement hull boat to calculate the no wake speed of a planing hull boat when it's off plane. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because that minutes to the river figure that you see in the MLS, it'll say this house has blah, 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 and it's 20 minutes to the river. That 20 minutes to the river number can either be accurately given to the listing agent by the current homeowner based on the length of his boat, or it could just be a wild guess, to be honest. Now, this can be calculated easily by taking the actual route that you would travel through the canal system and calculating the length of that, and then, dividing that by the speed to get your minutes to the river time. But you have to know what the actual no wake speed of your boat is. And some people who are coming from New York or New Jersey or Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Ohio, they don't have the boat yet. So they don't know what type of boat they're going to get exactly. But most people know usually within 5 feet how long that boat's going to be. Now, it's critical if you're talking about really short vessels like jet skis. And that's why when you get a few bridges back and back into the canal system, where it would take 40 minutes to get to the river in a 30-foot boat, when you try to take that trip on a jet ski, it takes forever because the jet ski's no wake speed is so slow. It's significantly slower. A jet ski only has like 8 feet of waterline length. So in order to calculate the rough no wake speed of a boat, if you don't already have one, if you already have a boat, you pretty much know, if you're going to bring a boat from up north, you already know what your no wakes or idle speed is. But if you don't have a boat yet, here's how you can roughly calculate using the formula for displacement hulls to apply it to your V-hull planing hull boat to get the rough no wake speed. And then you could use that with the distance to calculate the minutes to the river. Now, don't worry if this all sounds like, super engineering nerd talk. I have a background in engineering, so if you want me to calculate it for you, I'll be more than happy to do that. So here's the formula for calculating the maximum speed of a displacement hull. You take 1.34 and you multiply that by the square root of the length of the water line. All right, so the waterline length is not going to be, down the port side, across the transom and up the starboard side. It's just one side. And realistically, you could just use the length of the boat as a rough estimate of the waterline length. So if you had a 33-foot boat, you could just use 33 as the waterline length. You'd square that and multiply it by 1.34, would give you a rough idea of what your idle speed would be. Now, if you apply that math to an 8-foot waterline length jet ski, you come up with around 4.3 miles an hour as your idle speed. If you apply it to a 60-foot Hatteras, you come up with like 11.9 mile an hour speed for your no idle speed. Like a 35-foot boat is in the neighborhood of 9 miles an hour. 25-foot boat is in the neighborhood of 7.5 miles an hour. A 17-foot boat is in the neighborhood of 6.2, 6.3 miles an hour, based on that math. And if you check that with, if you have a boat, you can verify that is pretty close. This isn't, complete 100%, settled science, but this will give you an actual good idea of what your no wake speed would be. And then you could do the math on the distance with mapping software to figure the exact minutes to the river time. And like I said, I'm happy to do it for you. I love to nerd out on that kind of stuff. That's my thing. So if you have questions about this concept or any other concept relative to waterfront property, don't hesitate to get in touch with me, even if you're not ready yet. If this is something you're thinking about doing next year even, there's a lot of stuff that you have to put together and figure out when you're going to buy a waterfront home. And it doesn't happen overnight. So I understand that. If you're completely just in the beginning stages, that's the best time to actually ask somebody who knows, so you don't have to figure all this stuff out on your own. I'll be happy to take as much time with you as you need. My cell phone number, to which you can call or text, is 239-529-0555. My email address is waterfrontluxury@gmail.com. If you're watching this video on Facebook, you can like my page. That way, if this content appeals to you and you want to see more of it, you'll be notified when new videos come out. If you're watching it on YouTube, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon so that you're alerted when I drop new videos. All right? If there's anything that I can do for you, any questions I can answer relative to waterfront property or anything real estate related in Southwest Florida, feel free to reach out. And until then, I will see you out on the waterfront.